Hello my dear friends, I am Prashant Mauni and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. Dear friends, recently we saw that the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business report is out, and we can also see that at present this is one of the most you can say burning topic or burning issue that is going on around our country, right? Many things are said about this thing, so today we are going to ask ourselves whether this ease of doing business certificate is enough for our country to get a sort of conducive, or you can say a right environment for investment. We are going to find out the answer of this question, but before moving ahead, please allow me to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses for different exams like SSC, Bank, UPSC and other government exams. StudyIQ provides you with different pen drive and tablet courses. The good thing about this pen drive and tablet courses is that they are designed by the best faculties of our country. So the quality that you are going to get with this pen drive and tablet courses is going to be top of the range. If you want to know more about it, I'm sure you want to know more about it, all you have to do is check out studyiq.com. If you have any further queries, you have chat support available on our website, and if you want, you can give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now dear friends, let's start with very basic thing, as I have already told you, but then as well many times you find this sort of items in your pre-examination, right? And many times it happens that in pre-examination, because of time pressure and other things, there are many students who get a little bit confused regarding this thing. So let me clarify it here, that World Bank, right? It is the World Bank who does all the research and things pertaining to ease of doing business, and it is the World Bank that comes out, or you can say releases, this ease of doing business. And this is been done since last 15 years. Every year you see World Bank's ease of doing business report. Now the thing is, let me tell you, let's go through the ABCD of this World Bank's ease of doing business report. See, the first thing is that, and this is very important, that this particular report tells us only about a bit, or you can say only a small portion is covered by this ease of doing business report. The second thing is that only Delhi and Mumbai, these are the only two cities, right, of India through which on which they have conducted this research, and they have checked the ground scenario of this Delhi and Mumbai, and based on this thing they are giving a sort of ranking for the whole country. Now dear friends, I'm sure you might have heard about this thing. It's called DIPP. Now just a small hint, it's a question for you basically, right? You have to provide me with the full form of this DIPP. Now this DIPP, it is a sort of an arm of Commerce Ministry, and it conducts an internal, that is a domestic ease of doing business competition or report of our country. And this basically this DIPP looks or compares different states with each other in terms of ease of doing business. Now if we go through our internal ease of doing business report, then we find that for the longest time Gujarat was and ranking, you can say it was on the top of this ladder, right? It used to rank number 1. But then competition kicked in, and the other states who were lagging behind, states like Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, right, they took over from Gujarat. At present Gujarat is on rank 3, and this Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are on number 1 position. Same thing took place with something similar happened with Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh as well. Now these states are famous for mines, right? I'm sure you know about it, and they were not doing that good in terms of this ease of doing business competition. But later on their chief ministers and their bureaucracy and their administration, they made some changes as well, and now you can you find them at number 4 and number 5, and this good position out of 36, right? In total we have 29 states and 7 union territories, so you find them at number 4 and 5, which is not bad at all. But the thing is Delhi and Mumbai, they are not rankers, they are not the toppers, right? They are a bit far behind. So you can understand that when World Bank is only looking at these two cities, so you can understand that the ground reality is not taken into consideration, or you can say that the World Bank is not knowing in fact the right scenario, or you can say the right things, or the things that are taking place at ground level in different parts of our country. Then comes the input, how it collects its data. Now it goes through this statute books. Now let me give you a small example. Say for example, if you want to purchase a land, so there are some written rules regarding how a company can purchase a land from government or from any other party, etc. So you have step number 1, 2, 3 and 4, etc., etc. So they will study these steps, they will compare it with other countries and things like that, and based on that thing you will be judged, or your country will be judged based on these things. Then comes this interview of experts, right? Experts, or the people who are expert about India, who know about India, something like in terms of economy and other areas. So they will take interview of these experts, and they will also take interview of government officials, and they will try to find out their views regarding things going on in the market. And finally you have World Bank's own staff, who will of course provide their own views and things like that. Their own perception will be applied here as well. So just like any other survey or any sort of this sort of work, you can see there are naturally many sort of flaws as well. There are many things that are not taken into consideration by the World Bank, and this has been making India a bit sad as well. India has said in the past that you should take other cities, or you should compare our other states as well. You should see the scenario of Telangana and Gujarat and other states, rather than just focusing on these two cities. So this is the thing which makes it a bit out of focus, you can say. But anyways, if we go through the facts and figures, then we find that India at present is at number 100, right? Our rank is 100, and if we see, or if we compare ourselves from our past, then we find that we used to be somewhere in 130s and 140s, and here it should be 131. Anyways, so we used to be in this range, but we have bypassed, or you can say we have jumped 30 positions, and now we are at 100. So anyway, this is a good thing, no doubt about it. We have made some changes in the books which has made it possible for us to jump 30 positions. And if we compare the scenario under new NDA government, when I say new, I mean to say that from since Narendra Modi took over, if we see, then we are moving a bit fast in this area, and we have in total in last 3 years jumped 42 positions, which is again a significant achievement, no doubt. But this is this will basically work in terms of perception, right? In terms of branding of India, right? When you say that we are ranking at number 100, we used to be 130. So if you compare in this way, then yes, it is a good thing to promote, or you can say you can take a pride on this thing as well, right? And it will create a positive perception in investor, no doubt about it. Because if you see the Nifty, and if you see Sensex, right, then they have crossed, or they have touched new high. They have they are running at their maximum at present. So this is, of course, you are going to see some sort of positive side as well, or you are going to see some positive result in the market. And our target is to be, or to see ourselves in top 50 ease of doing business countries in the world. This is the target set by Narendra Modi, and recently Finance Minister said that we are not going to stop at rank 100. We are going to work, more reforms are in the pipeline, and we are going to make necessary changes so that we can see ourselves in top 50 countries. Now the thing is, dear friends, I'm not sure how many of you would be knowing about this thing, and this thing is called Distance to Frontier Index. Now let me break it down for you, that this Distance to Frontier Index is basically a subsidiary index which comes along with ease of doing business report. This also means that this Distance to Frontier Index is released by World Bank. So keep this thing in mind as well, just in case if you find this sort of question in your pre-examination. Now dear friends, they have this World Bank goes through 10 parameters, right? That take 10 parameters into consideration. You can see here, starting business and dealing with construction permits, getting electricity, registering property, getting credit and paying tax, and protecting minority investors, trading across borders, enforcing contracts, and resolving insolvency. So in total you have this 10 parameters, and they are taken into consideration whilst making this DB, that is doing business report. as well as this DTF. So the thing is, what this DTF or distance to frontier index is all about. Basically what they do is, see here, say for example we are talking about starting a new business, right? So here you can see when it comes to procedure, the least procedure, or the less number of things that you have to do if you want to open a business or if you want to start a business, then the best country is New Zealand. And based on this example, we can easily understand that if, say for example, if you require just one thing to do, right, rather than doing, say for example, or getting permission from 20 different places, that's what happens in our country. On an average, it is said that you have to take permission of 29 different things in our country if you want to start a business. And if you compare with a sort of imaginary or hypothetical example of this New Zealand, say for example, if they have just one window, or you have to take permission from one place, and there you go, you can start your business. So we can understand that if we are trying to compete here, if we can reduce our procedures, and if we can reduce it to from 29, say for example even 5 as well, right? If we can have just 5 permissions, or if you are required to get 5 permissions from different places, then as well it is far better than getting 29 permission, isn't it? So that's what it does. It has some frontier, or you can say the top performers, countries like New Zealand. And when you have other areas as well, say for example if you want electricity connection for your factory or your business place, then the less number of procedure is there in Germany. The time, right, the least time required, or the if you go to Republic of Korea, that is South Korea, then within couple of days you will have your connection, electric connection. And we know it very well, even today in our country it takes ages, isn't it? You have to run from here and there, and you have to, many times it happens that you have to offer some money as well as corruption. So this sort of things are taking place, and they do take place in our country. It's not that all across the board things are like that, but there are few pockets where this sort of things do take place as well. So anyways, what this DTF do is it has some benchmark, right? It has some best examples, and based on that best example, they will try to compare each and everything of different countries. So in this way you can say that it is a sort of motivation for every country, and India has done bit well as well. Here you can see that we used to have 56 points, but now we have, this year we are given with 60 points. So this indicates that things are going well, and out of this 10 parameters we have done quite well in the 9 parameters. So this is again a good thing. Here you can see this picture here. See, this is India here. This is on an average best example, right? 100 marks or 100 points. So India has got 61. You can say 60.76 is 61. So we have crossed the half line, right? So we are not that far from here. And in this doing business 2018 rank as well, we are at 100, and we are aiming to be below 50. So this is again we are heading in a right direction, you can say, no doubt. So now let's see this thing, that why we are still at 100. What are the things that are keeping us behind? The thing is, dear friends, if you see these parameters, right, then you can see here the things indicated by C. C stands for center here. So getting credit is something in the domain of center. Then protecting minority investors, again it is the duty of center, or center has all the right to make changes in this thing, and so it applies to paying taxes and trading across the border. Of course, international trading is in the domain of central government, and resolving insolvency as well. So here if you see the numbers, then see paying taxes. We used to be 172. Our rank was 172 in this paying taxes number or in this competition, but in 2018 we have done reasonably well. We are at 119. So what has been done, or what are the changes that were made by the center that helped us to get this good marks, or what are the things they did? The biggest thing that the center did is digitization. Now remember, don't confuse this thing with demonetization, right? If you remember, then before demonetization as well, the central government has always been trying that more and more people file their tax returns online, isn't it? We have seen numerous advertisement in this regard, and since after demonetization we have seen a sudden rise as well in the use of online transaction, and nowadays government has made it mandatory as well to some extent that you have to use online payment method, method only. You have to use online platform to file your returns. So what happens here is that the things are more transparent, right? It will become more easy, and you don't have to counter, or you don't have to interact with human beings, or human interface is removed. That means you don't have to go through this bureaucratic procedure, and you don't have to this possibility of corruption and things like that are also removed because of the introduction of digital platform. So this is a good thing. Apart from that, after demonetization and the other schemes, right, in terms of ensuring that everyone pays their right tax, we have seen there is a sort of widening of tax base as well. And here we are not taking GST into consideration, because this report, right, is or the data that you have in this report is from 2016, June 2016 to June 2017 only, and we know that GST was rolled out in July 2017. So you don't find the benefits of GST, or we are not taking into consideration this GST network and things like that when we are discussing this latest ease of doing business report from World Bank. The other thing is, if we talk about insolvency, right, resolving insolvency, then here you can see that from 136 we have, or the central government has managed to get us 103. So what are the changes that we have made here? We know that we got new insolvency law, isn't it? And under this law, under new insolvency law, you know that there are 180 days you have, right? Within this 180 days you have to take a decision whether this the loan that has been given by a bank, whether it is going to be resurrected, or is it or is there any life left in it, or the government can, or the bank can take over that company. It can have its own management, or it can sell the property and recover the loan, and this sort of thing. So in this way you can understand that the money that is blocked as NPA for the longest period of time, or it used to be like this for the longest period of time, now with the introduction of this insolvency law, the money, at least if even if you have given 100 rupees, and if you get back, say for example 80 rupees, and if you are losing 20 rupees, and if there is no way to get this 20 rupees back, then it is better to have your 80 rather than losing your 100, isn't it? So in this way things are a bit better. The bank is having money, the bank is able to seize the money back, so this is also helping a lot. But the sad thing is that when we go through the state's performance, or the things that are under the purview of state, like enforcing contract, right, 172, we have not done that much. 164, here you can see dealing with construction permits, again related with land, falling under state. You can see 185 in this year, 181. There are some areas where we have done bad, like getting electricity from 26 to 29, starting a business 155, 156. So these are the things that clearly indicates that states are not running or walking shoulder to shoulder with the central government. And one of the main reason why they are not able to do it, or you can say the solution for the state, is that just like central government, they should also go digital, right? They should introduce, or they should use digital platforms as much as possible. Because of these things, transparency goes up, then the things of the, or you can say the permission thing becomes a bit easier and speedy as well. What happens normally is that you apply for something, then there will be an inspector who will come and visit your site, and then he or she will produce a report. That report will be read by someone, and then decision will be taken, and etc, etc. So you can see that there is a long process through which you have to go to. But here what you can do, once you have digital thing, then you can ask for all the documents, and then you can have a sort of, you can arrange a random checkup or something like that. So first you allow them to start a business, and you trust people, right? You trust, here what happens is the state will trust its citizen, and there is no harm in it. We have seen success of trusting our citizens in Jandan and other areas as well, and Pahel and other schemes are also a good example that the people of our country can be trusted with. Or when it comes to the relationship between the state and its citizen, then trust, if the state is giving some sort of, or if it is investing trust in the people, then of course the people will respond positively as well. That's what we can generally say. It is not always right. I'm just giving you a small example here to make things a bit easier for the state government. Now, are there any other solutions? Yes, they are. Now, rules, right? We have all the rules in the books, and that's what this World Bank's ease of doing business does. It goes through your books, as I told you earlier on. It will go through the procedures that you have in your laws, and it will check your laws, and it will compare your laws and things like that. So we would be able to design good laws, or we would have good things written in our books, but the important thing is that we should also implement all those good things in its true letter and spirit, right? We have to ensure that what we are saying, we are doing that things as well, as I told you about digitization. And the third thing is that we should also try to imbibe by the rules and values of World Bank. Now, dear friends, the question is, will this ease of doing business will change the investment scenario in our country or not? Or is this certificate of rank 100 enough for us to get our economy back on track? Or you can say, will we see a sort of sudden rise in the graph of our economic growth? The thing is, dear friend, this ease of doing business report focuses on this red tape and your administrative hurdles. They will go through what are the administrative hurdles that you have to encounter if you want to do business in any country. The other thing is that this is a perception index. As I told you that it will take interview of officials, government officials, and it will ask the experts. Now the question is, what is a definition of an expert of World Bank, right? On what criteria do they select these government officials? And what about the qualification or the experience or you can say impartiality of these World Bank officials, right? This everything can be questioned, isn't it? And as I told you, and as you know it now very well, that because they are just focusing on a very narrow or a niche market, right? Only Delhi and Mumbai are taken on board. So you can say that they are a bit far away from the ground realities, and we should never confuse ourselves with this ease of doing business report with the overall investment climate of our country. Because the thing is, this whole investment climate, right? If you talk about investment climate, then ease of doing business report is just one part of this investment climate. It is not the whole investment climate in itself. And it also means that, and if you go through the FD, this foreign direct investment report, or the amount of foreign direct investment going in this toppers and best performers, you can see here New Zealand has been at number one position in 2017 and 2018. Then you have Singapore and other countries. They are always on this good rank, right? And that does not mean that they are getting more FDI or investment higher than our country, right? There are other countries that have done well when you compare it with our country. There are many other countries. There are 10 countries who have done absolutely well, and this includes India as well. But the thing is, we are number one when it comes to foreign direct investment. Why? The thing is, it's not only, as I told you, this ease of doing business certificate, right? It also the other things are infrastructure. Do you have enough infrastructure, right? If you produce goods in India, then can you say that you would be provided with the best roads and water connectivity and things like that, and you will have to pay minimum amount of transport cost? At present, the answer is no. We know it very well. Then you have skilled manpowers. Do we have skilled manpowers, right? Do we have experts? We have a huge amount of population, but if you go through the the reports of different agencies and different big giants, then there is also a complaint. They say that our graduates or our youngsters are bit difficult to train. They have degrees, but they are lacking in interpersonal skills and things like that. And this is a sort of generalization. I'm not saying that each and every Indian young boy and girl is having this sort of lack of abilities, not at all. But this is what you read in media, and that's what reports are saying. And to some extent, this is right as well, that most of out of, say, for example, 100, you can say you will find at least 60, right? They will have degrees and everything, but when it comes to practical side of doing things and the interpersonal skills, then they would be lagging this sort of skills, which are very important in today's world. And then comes the question of demand. Yes, we can fulfill this thing because we are a huge population. We have a demand over here, but there should be a global demand as well, isn't it? If someone is investing in our country, say for example a Japanese company is investing in our country, they will produce goods for America. But if there is no demand of this product in America, then there is no point of investing in India. And then you have macroeconomic parameters like CAD and fiscal deficit and other things like that, right? So these things, when you compare with India, then it is going on well. So far macroeconomic factors are doing good. With infrastructure, we are not that good. Regarding demand, we have a demand, domestic demand is there, but there is huge potential here. We have to exploit or explore foreign markets too. We can work a bit better in this area, and there are other things as well that you can include in this investment climate. So you can understand that this certificate alone is not going to help that much. And if we really want to see ourselves in say for example top 50 or top 10 countries, then what we have to do is that we need to promote, or we need to make this cooperative federalism a bit more mature. Center should stand shoulder to shoulder with all the states, the center and other states together. They should promote this cooperative federalism, in which everyone is supporting everyone, and they are sharing their best practices with each other. They are learning from each other. And then you also need competition as well, a healthy competition between different states, and this will eventually benefit the customers and the citizens. And if we do these things, then of course we can see ourselves in top 50 or top 10, right? So that's basically everything about it. I'm sure that things are much clear now. You know the in and out of World Bank report now, its demerits and its merits and things like that. With this, dear friends, I end this discussion here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this lecture with your friends, and use your social media platform as well to share this with other people. This will help them a lot as well. If you learned something out of it, do give us your like, pass your valuable comment, and do let me know the full form of DIPP. I want to see how many of you can get it right. With this, dear friends, I will see you all soon. Jai Hind.